going to explore exporting and importing data sets from CSV or comma-separated values files. You might want to do this for several reasons. You may want to generate data in R and then export it to a file for later use, like say in like a spreadsheet or something like that. Or you might want to import data that you've entered elsewhere into an R script for use. So like creating an object out of data that you've entered somewhere else. Right, so first let's explore writing to a CSV file. And I'm going to use one of R's internal like example data sets in order to do that. So what we're going to do is the function is called write, if I could spell correctly, write.csv. And first we're going to, the first argument is the data set name. So in this case, I'm using sleep, which is one of the example data sets that comes with R. And then for the second argument, you want to use the file name. So in this case, I'm just going to arbitrarily call it sleepdata.csv. I'll go ahead and run that now. So you're not going to really get much confirmation that it ran, but if you open everything up, like if you open up, check that the file is there, right, you'll find it. And now I'm going to show you how to read from a CSV file. In this case, I am just going to store it in an object, so I'm just going to call that CSV data object. Sure. And so we're going to store that in there, and I'm going to use read.csv, and then we're just going to put the file name in there. So sleepdata.csv. I'm going to run that, right? And so that ran, and then if we print, see, what did I call this? CSV data object. Don't name your objects some long thing, right? So let's run that, and you'll notice down here in the console that it printed out all of that data, and that was just read straight out of that CSV that I wrote to earlier. So this is just kind of a basic overview. Obviously, there are different arguments you can pass to both the write.csv and the read.csv functions that basically have to do with like, how it handles headers and that sort of stuff that you might need if your data is formatted slightly differently than what R is expecting, right? So those sort of things that can help massage data. Since I wrote to the CSV file without any arguments, like extra arguments about headers or whatnot, then I could read it in sort of a similarly easy way, right? But that's not always the case. So if you want to get more out of these functions, definitely look into it a bit more. They are quite powerful, and I can see myself at least using these a lot, especially as a musician who can export CSV files from services like Bandcamp and Spotify, and then kind of import them into R and analyze them without having to sit around like retyping in or reformatting a bunch of data. So it is a very powerful feature, and that's why I wanted to highlight it here. So anyway, I hope you learned something fun. See you next time.